As with every stage, there are challenges in the midstream. What are these challenges, and how do you overcome them?
Yeah, that's a good question. If you asked me that 5 or 10 years ago, I probably would have said the biggest challenge was in educating the producers who have the expertise to actually develop the resource. I mean, that was our biggest hurdle. And these are guys like Tim who've historically been hunting for hydrocarbons and successful at that, and they know how to sell hydrocarbons. So, I mean, if you find oil, you know you can truck it out, just about anywhere. Natural gas, there's a pipeline close by or whatnot. Um, Helium's obviously a lot more complicated than that, technically and commercially. So, these same producers would come to us and ask, how do you process it? How is it sold? What's it worth? I mean, all those kinds of questions that are pretty unique to the helium industry that were very foreign to them. So it was a hard sell for a while to convince operators and investors that helium development is a worthwhile endeavor. But clearly that's changed, and now there's a lot of momentum on the upstream side of the business, and there's real activity as Tim alluded to, and a lot of your listeners and readers certainly know about that. But I mean, fast forward to today, and again, Tim hit on some of this. I mean, those questions of the producers still persist. Today, I'd say that permitting, bureaucracy, land concerns, and infrastructure considerations are all the biggest hurdles we've got to overcome. I mean, sites can be remote, as I said. I mean, God didn't always put helium deposits directly off an interstate, so road infrastructure has to be developed to allow for the constant movement of helium transports. Powering facilities is a big consideration again. I mean, particularly when dealing with those totally inert gas streams. We have to use propane to fire some facilities because they're out in the middle of nowhere, and the gas stream's inert and there's no power infrastructure. And then on the kind of more bureaucratic and kind of sensitive points, I mean, helium exists on lands owned by states, federal governments, Native American tribes, and a lot of those will have certain procedures that can be just painfully slow. There's the emissions permitting side of things. I mean, depending on the jurisdiction you're in, whether that be a particular state or federal area, I mean, this can take time. So, how do we overcome these challenges? I mean, in no particular order. I mean, aside from a lot of psychotherapy and meditation and tequila, there's no magic solution. I mean, it just takes a great deal of tenacity, patience, experience, contacts, consultants. I mean, environmental consultants, archaeologists, air quality folks, and really just knowing where your expertise is best applied, and then when to bring in outside help. Without getting political, it's fair to say that the overall climate for resource development in general continues to get more challenging. So, I mean, you have to play by the rules. You've got to build these relationships with administrators, bureaucrats, landowners, all that, and just understand the overall lay of the land in order to get things done. So, unfortunately, sometimes that means you got to do a great deal of waiting as your various permit applications kind of make their way through the system. But it can all be done. It just takes some tenacity.